Welcome to Talkin' Jets. My name's Ryan, and I'll be your pilot tonight. I am joined alongside my co-pilots. I have Green Bean to my this way. I have Mr. Matt O'Leary to my that way. Green Bean, how you doing tonight?
Dude, I gotta say, I'm voting for Paper Rings, everybody, for Taylor Swift. Paper Rings. If you haven't heard it, you gotta get it in your ear holes. I'm happy to be here.
Matt, how you doing tonight?
I am always Team Betty, so that is my choice. We're going with the Love Triangle song.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. For those of you that don't know, we put a poll question in the chat. Favorite T Swift song seems to be the flavor of the week, according to the entire internet. So we got a few questions up there as well as others, so drop a comment down below. I see some people saying, I don't listen to Taylor Swift. Well, you're missing out. Love me some T-Swizzle. Fun fact, I saw her on Halloween down in Tampa, like in 2015 with Becca. Very cool.
Go.
That's wonderful. You're a good man. It
was great. Oh, Hank G. popping our cherry. What's up, dude? He says, congrats on being monetized. Have a super chat. Thank you, Hank G. We did it.
That's amazing.
They let us have it.
Fucking Hank. Hank, you did it, dude. That's amazing. Thank you.
You did it with us. See? How great is that?
Right. Hank's the best.
He's the man. I see a few comments in here. Snowball says, lover. I see,
Lover's
it's
good.
Vin. It's all about anti-hero.
That's a good one, too.
Anti-hero's good. Let me shoot real straight here. I love Taylor Swift, and I don't give a damn.
Dude, we've had Taylor Swift on repeat. Like we have like the Sonos in-ceiling speakers. Like Becca's been playing it, and Shay's like in the back, just like not saying anything, but just clearly thinking she's singing along with the song. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's gonna love it because it's got the groove. You know, I'm still mad at Kanye West for what he did to poor Taylor Swift.
Oh, it was brilliant.
Yeah, that was.
I was a big Kanye fan back in the day. No, it was all planned, 100%. He went up there.
Wasn't.
So
you got to
100%.
watch her documentary. You got to watch it. It messed her up for 2 years.
Did it really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it jettisoned. I mean, she was already big, but like it got both sides kind of amped, but also like everyone talking about the same thing. Because like I got to see, was that the same year? It might have been the year before. I saw you know what it was? I saw Kanye the following year, so the 1 year anniversary of him like interrupting her on stage, and that was at the Jay-Z Eminem concert at Yankee Stadium, and he came out and he sang the song that he sang at the VMAs the day before. I think it was the VMAs, and it was that "Blame It on the Asshole" or whatever, and like it was so good, so great. And then he kind of went off the rails a lot of bit, and now like I just listen to his old music. I just ignore him.
The art, separate the art from the artist, right? Isn't that the
yeah?
old
That's
saying?
Yep. That's what I'm trying to do. Green Bean, you had some insight into that.
Well, what about that whole thing? Well, Taylor Swift made a documentary. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's really good. See, we're big Taylor Swifties over here. Is that what fans of her are called? I think that's what we're called.
I actually
Swiftie.
don't know.
Yeah, I'm a Swiftie. I don't know if that's real or not,
No,
but I'm a
it is.
Swiftie nonetheless. Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, we watched it. It's really fascinating. She went into somewhat of a depression after that. She didn't understand why that happened, why people didn't stand up for her. She didn't get it. She was young. She was like, what, 16 or something like that?
No, she's my age, so she must have been 20 at that point.
Still, 20's young.
Yeah, it's still young. That's actually younger than like now saying it out loud. It's like, wow, yeah, if that happened to me at 20, I'd be pretty crushed.
If it happened to me at 20, I would have been drunk and on crack.
Oh no.
There you go. I'd be like, what's happening? But yeah, I don't know, man. So yeah, I was mad I'm still mad at him. I don't like it. And then he did it to Beck too. Why didn't you do it to
really?
Yeah, he jumped on stage with Beck. Beck won an award. He's like, why are you picking Taylor Swift and Beck? Two people who obviously won't defend themselves. You know what I mean?
No.
Should do it to Salt and Pepper and see what happens.
Jet Fraley hops in and says, Ryan, you painted your nails. I'm not surprised on Taylor Swift, LOL. Well, his emoji is a guy in makeup.
Yeah.
It's like the kiss emoji. And
yeah,
but I did paint my toes. I painted them a few times. Dude, so get this. It's $30 to go to a podiatrist to get these friggin' ingrown toenails taken out. Or I could pay $40 and get myself a pedicure and get a massage for an hour. I'm going to take the massage every time. I don't care. Judge me for it. All about it.
Be comfortable in your skin.
That's 100%. Right. And your toes. Right.
Citybird says, are we getting the Taylor's version of Rodgers? I hope so. I love how excited Rodgers was. I love how the first time we see him in MetLife Stadium is at a T Swift concert.
It's so ironic. It's so ironic, but it's the best.
Well,
what's really cool is... Oh, no, go on, Green Bean.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. You know what it is? Like, let's say one of two things. Either he's always this guy, right? He's always been this way, and he's just misunderstood and grumpy up there in Green Bay with them drafting quarterbacks and the whole thing. And it's kind of been a weird situation, and it's been tenuous, and we're seeing like a freedom kind of thing. Or, so he's either always been this guy and just got a bad rap, or we're seeing like coming out of the shell, which both ways are positive to me. I just stumbled on this Vikings fan channel. I was looking for the clip of him on YouTube, and I just happened to be a Viking fan, and they were making fun of him and talking about him as a douche and all this stuff. And I don't know, man. You got to really already dislike the guy. And I get it as Vikings fans. I totally get it. Like if that was Dan Marino, I'd be like, get out of here with this loser. I do get it. But from my perspective, just looking at it, it's like it's a guy who, dude, you have to let go of a lot of like manliness, like preconceived what you're allowed to do to be doing this at a Taylor Swift concert, man. Like, you know what I mean? You're being watched and filmed. You know it. He knows.
Sure. Confidence. That's what it is.
Confidence, man. I don't care. This is what I'm into. Beat it. I love it.
So what's really cool is we got this video sent to us from the future. So I want you guys to take a listen at what this was. The Jets have won the Super Bowl with the confetti falling. That's either this year or next year or the year after, because we're going to have them for 3 years. I feel confident. Green Bean, is this something to maybe some foreshadowing for Mr. Aaron Rodgers?
Why not? I like that he even connected the two. Right. That's right where he went. Right. Oh, the Jets won the Super Bowl. That's his association to confetti. I love it. I think it's absolutely a little tip into the future of what we're going to see. And you know what, dude? Let the haters hate. Let them. He's washed. He's this. He's that. He's a douche. Good. He went right to the Jets win the Super Bowl in our stadium with the confetti. Taylor Swift, I think it's amazing.
Matt, your thoughts?
Yeah, there's a very key part that people are leaving out in this video. So the other guy in the video is Miles Teller, who is an Eagles fan, and you faintly hear him say at the beginning the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and then it's almost as if Rodgers is coming back saying, no, the Jets win the Super Bowl as the confetti is falling. I'm the football player. This is my moment. And they're in the Jets stadium. Like, I don't know. It was a fun little concert moment. Like, let's not blow that out of proportion and make it into I don't know, the second coming of the Joe Namath guarantee. Like, what are we doing here? I feel like people are running with this a little too much.
Oh, I'm going to run it all the way up to Las Vegas. we're going to take it all the way. We're getting the ring, boys and girls. Going to manifest it. Manifest your destiny. Yeah, I am excited. I like that he's showing all this kind of personality, and it feels like Green Bean said, he's loose. He's comfortable. His teammates that have been around him for years, friends who've been around him for years, this is the happiest we've seen him in so long. Like, hearing all that just reconfirms to me and like everything that this was the right decision, and this guy's 100% bought in. I can't wait to see what his eventual contract winds up looking like. But very, very happy with where we're at right now. Jack jumps in with a super chat. Thank you, Jack. He says, Green Bean, I'm over on Langley Air Force Base right now. So I hit Busch Gardens today and went front row on the Griffin in your honor. Go Jets.
Dude, how crazy is that, Jack? Good for you, buddy. That's amazing. You know, he's referencing, I went to Busch Gardens this weekend on Saturday, and it was pouring rain. Right, they have a new coaster, so as being the coaster freaks that we are, we're Busch Gardens members, and we went there to get on the coaster, but it was raining so every other coaster we went on, it feels very much like getting blasted in the face with sand. I don't know if anybody's been on a coaster in the rain; it's brutal. But my daughter accepted a dare. There's one thing I don't like to do at Busch Gardens, and that's the front row at the Griffin. The Griffin is a 205-foot coaster that before it drops you down the first drop, it stops at the top and dangles you. So it's like floorless, and you just hang over the top of the first drop for like 3 seconds. And I don't like it. So I always sit in the back row. It's just, I don't like it. So
I saw a TikTok of this. Like this week, I saw someone else do a TikTok video of this, and it was the view of them dangling. I'm like, oh my God, this is insane.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it up there. I meant to put it up there this morning, but as you know, 3 a.m. is a tough time to edit and do stuff. So I was like, I'll do it later, But yeah, but anyway, so Jack's just referencing that. That's awesome, Jack. I'm glad. Were you scared? I mean, he's at Langley Air Force, but he's probably not scared of too much. Like, this is for nothing. This is nothing, right? Some tough guy over there. I bet you weren't scared like me.
Front row on a coaster. I've done it with El Toro. I've done it with Nitro. I've done it with King the Ka. I haven't ridden many roller coasters since. I hit Disney a little bit and Universal like a few years back, but Six Flags has kind of been like my more like roller coastery stomping ground.
Well, of course. And it's one of the best coaster parks out there, quite frankly. Let me tell you this. Do you know what's rumored to be coming to Great Adventure in 2024?
Nope.
You don't know? Okay.
No idea.
Well, it's called a dive coaster, which is the Griffin. That's what the Griffin is. So Great Adventure is rumored to be getting their own Griffin, so you guys can all dangle your feet over the edge if you'd like.
No.
I love it.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
Dangle my feet, my well pedicured, non-ingrown toenail toes over the edge. I don't think you can wear open toe shoes though. So
probably
you can. They don't care.
See? Look at it go.
They don't care.
Stephen Engel says, dangle your nuts over the edge.
Oh no.
Squirmy Weasel. I can't do roller coasters. Harlan says, not my thing. Hank, the same thing. Fungus Among Us says, yeah, I would have passed out.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a no for me.
I know. I got to get O'Leary up on a dive coaster.
I don't know. The Cyclone was enough for me, I think.
The Cyclone's no joke, though, man. Like, don't minimize. You didn't just go on a kiddie coaster. That thing is badass. Cyclone is very underrated. I mean, it's obviously old and classic, but it is a badass coaster. It's legit. Still. Okay. So you did something big that day, Matt.
I'll take it then.
Yeah.
Austin Powers says, I went to Universal. It was groovy, baby.
Groovy, baby.
Ooh, there it is. Austin Powers.
Dan Hopp says, Ryan is looking extra tan. It's because Ryan works at a golf course. It's summer. My ass has been outside a lot. Ugh. This whole weekend was hot and outside. You guys do anything fun for Memorial Day weekend? Creamy? I know you said Busch Gardens.
Did I tell you I went to Busch Gardens? It was raining. No. Have you ever been on a coaster?
In the rain, it feels like you're pelted with sand?
Yeah, something about sand. I don't know.
Yeah, I also refinished my porch with my family. What was that?
There you go.
Good stuff. Good weekend. You guys?
That's fun. What'd you do, Matt?
Oh, I cooked so much food on my Blackstone and barbecue. It was ridiculous. We did, let's see. I did bacon, egg, and cheeses in the morning on Sunday and Monday. We did garlic parm and buffalo wings. We did burgers, hot dogs, chicken burgers, veggies, whole bunch of stuff, but so much food. It was homemade queso. That was the big winner.
Ooh,
Wow.
love me some queso. So good.
That's awesome.
It was fun.
So
You a good cook, Matt?
I'm like grilling and stuff like that. Not like in the kitchen. Like I'm not gonna like bake or put something in the oven and make, like, I can't do a turkey, but give me a steak or some chicken or something and slap it on a barbecue or the Blackstone. I could do that.
Yeah, I'm not the best of cooks. We had my weekend was interesting. Friday, we did this big barbecue bourbon event at the golf course, and it's like live band, 9 and Dine shotgun. So there was like 60 players in that. We do like all this like huge barbecue brisket, like on the big smoker and everything. Demo day on the range. And one of the events that we do is a hot dog eating contest. And one of my employees started talking a lot of smack to me. So I was like, all right, I'm going to put you in your place. I was like, big dog's hopping in the competition. So 5 minutes, eat. We had 8 hot dogs in front of us. You had to win. It was first person to eat all 8 hot dogs or the most eaten in the 5 minutes time. So I got 8 hot dogs down and 2 of the buns. I did the hot dogs first, and I just did the dunk with the bread, trying to finish that up. And I had 6 rolls. I had like the rolls all scrunched up, and I like started dunking in the water towards the end. My friggin' employee downs all 8 hot dogs and the buns, and just looks at me as he's popping the last one in his mouth, winks, and like ends it at 3 minutes and 42 seconds. 8 hot dogs at 3 minutes and 42 seconds.
Wow,
that's impressive.
Yeah, I had a lot of weenies inside of me. Clip that.
Oh. That's pretty bad. Clip that, somebody.
Oh my God. Dude, I felt so awful after that. Like, I got home and like literally from like 2 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the morning, I couldn't leave the toilet. I was like, I feel awful. It's coming out both ends. This is terrible.
Oh, no.
So that was my Friday night. Saturday, I had the day off. Sunday, what did we do Sunday? We had this like town event. But yesterday, Monday, I run 2 golf courses. I have the 18-hole course, and then I have a 9-hole course that I run. It's like an executive 9-hole course, par 3s, par 4s. And yesterday was our parent junior event. So we had dads and moms and their kid, and they would do a 2-person scramble and whatnot. And 𝐒𝐮 Sabathia was one of the fathers at the parent junior. Very cool. Very nice guy.
Yeah, that's cool stuff when you get to hang out with dudes like that and see them in their natural habitat, not so to speak. You know what I mean? Like kind of relaxed, hanging out instead of like.
Dude, he was like a foot above everyone else. He's a massive person.
Oh, he's huge.
He's not as big as he like size wise as he was when he was playing, but it was funny. We led all the golfers out onto the golf course. He was on hole 2 at the time. And we see this, like a black bear, like a pretty good sized black bear. And he was up like 20 feet in the tree, just sitting on a branch, like hugging the side of the tree, chilling. And so I turn around to 𝐒𝐮, his son, and the 2 other people he's playing with. I'm like, hey, I was like, just be careful. Like when the cart path comes around up here behind the green, there's a bear in this tree. So like, just be careful. And 𝐒𝐮, like, eyes got big, turned and started running towards the cart the other way. I was like, it's a bear. He's not going to bother you. Just like, don't lather yourself in honey. just drive past him. Funny stuff though.
Real bear, dude. That's scary.
Oh, dude. So that 9-hole golf course kind of meanders its way through a condo community, and there's a lot of dumpsters, and the dumpsters that they have chains on them, so that way the bears can't get into them. But the people leave them open all the time, so the bears are like loving it. There's garbage bags ripped all over the place occasionally, and like they're all over the golf course. We had 3 there yesterday that were just roaming around over the course of the 9 holes. So we're getting calls like, "There's a bear." It's like, okay, don't pet it. Like, what do you want me to do? It's a fucking bear. It's right. I'm not going to do anything.
Wild.
Oh yeah.
I know you had bears up there.
Farm.
Oh yeah. Got a whole bunch of them. So that was my day. Oh, and then what was cool, and Peter, I don't know if you're in here, but Peter watches the show, has a lot of fun. He was at the 18-hole golf course. I literally stopped back over there for like an hour while the outing was out on course at the 9-hole course. And I'm behind the counter. I'm like doing like reversing some checks and things like that that I had to catch up on. And he goes, are you? And I was like, a Jets fan? He's just like, oh man, I watch all your stuff. And I was like, Peter, thank you, dude. And then his other buddy came in. He watches our stuff. I was like, this is cool.
Very cool.
I love if you ever see us in public, definitely say hi. It's fun.
Yeah, this last week, someone stopped me at Planet Fitness. I was like, I was like, I thought he was going to complain, like, oh, I'm on the machine too long. He's like, you're the Jets guy. You do the videos, right? I'm like, yeah, what's up? It's like, oh, this guy's going to chirp me about using the machine too long or something.
He's going to tweet at you. And he's going to be like, this guy, he's taking TikToks of himself in the gym. First person story mode over here. Citybird hops in. Citybird says, longtime watcher, just curious, what are your day jobs? All good if you want to stay private. Thanks for all your great content. So yeah, I'll tell you what mine is. I'm the director of golf at 2 different golf courses. Black Bear Golf Club in Franklin, New Jersey, and Minerals Golf Club in, I think that's Vernon. I'm pretty sure it's Vernon. So I oversee both those. I have a staff of people. I've been working with the resort for 9 years now. Started on the ski and snowboard side of things and then moved into the golf side like 9 years ago. Went to school for film, so not doing anything I shouldn't say not doing anything because I'm doing this.
Hello.
Was not doing anything with my degree prior to that. Matt, what about you? What do you do?
Yeah, so I've done a lot of stuff, but I taught broadcasting at a college. I ran and kind of helped launch a college radio station there. Then I was a writer covering sports betting for a year, and now I just do content full time. So I do the Jets stuff on YouTube. I have an Islanders podcast, and do some other freelance things on the side, and kind of just get to focus on this stuff, which is fun.
Green Bean, how about you? What do you do?
All right. What do I do? Yeah, all right. So I recently got a job. I haven't worked in like 4 years. Other than, like Matt said, I was like kind of full-time content with the Green Bean and the full-time coaster tour and all that jazz. And we were on the road and doing all that stuff. But I recently got a job. I am the executive director of a medication-assisted substance abuse treatment center. So there you go. That's what I do these days. I help people not die. That's what I'm working on.
That's a great job. It's rewarding.
Yeah, it can be, for sure. Can be very disheartening too. Lots of over the years, man. Lots and lots of sadness too. Yeah, but the success stories are nothing short of amazing. They give you the juice that you need. You know what I mean?
Blitzcrew says, grilling, gas versus charcoal versus pellets. I love charcoal. I love the smell of it. I have a Traeger grill, so I actually use pellets. So we got hickory pellets in there right now. That thing's awesome. Becca didn't want to get it initially because like you have to plug it in. It's an electric grill that heats up the pellets and then it creates the smoke and the fire and everything that like heats up everything inside. And she's like, well, what if we lose power and like you can't grill? And I was like, well, that sucks. But how often are we going to be grilling like when the power's out? Like if the power's out, like maybe we just go say like, let's go order some food. Do something like that.
Fair.
Well, then when the power's out is when grilling is used the most. Did you know that?
I know. But like growing up, we had a gas range in the house. So we were able to just, throw a match on it and it would go, and then you'd be able to cook. We also had, a propane grill outside that we used a lot as well. So I like all of it. Charcoal is my favorite smell though. I just don't love like having to wait for the charcoal to like get hot and whatnot.
Yeah. So I have a charcoal grill that I bring for like tailgates and stuff like that, or if I need a grill on the road somewhere. But my grill at home is gas. It's easier. I like the smell of charcoal, like you said, and like I feel like that's real grilling, but the gas is just so much easier.
Yeah, I feel like charcoal for me is I guess charcoal for me feels like tailgating.
Oh yeah.
Like we had like little butane stoves and like things like that we've used as well, but our buddy that we used to tailgate with had like a what are those big metal drums that you look like nuclear waste would go in, those big barrels. He had one of those chopped in half with a grate on top of it, and it was just loaded with charcoal, and it was always great because you'd have like a ton of different like food on it and whatnot. Green Bean, you got a favorite type of grilling?
Wood. I prefer wood fire. I like wood fire grills. Matter of fact, I'm in the process of, if anyone has any bricks, I've been saying that to all my friends. I want to build a brick grill for wood grilling. I
cool.
prefer wood. Now, I got to be honest, I've never really used pellets. I don't get it. I'm just going to shoot real straight. I don't get it. I've
it's
looked
wood,
at them
but it's tiny pieces of wood, so it lights faster.
I don't know. Why not just take a log? I don't know.
Because I can't fit a log in a hopper. The pellets go in a hopper. I just order that shit on Amazon. It's perfect.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's crazy. I mean, I don't know. Like, to me, I'm not, without judgment, for me, I have logs. I have wood. So I'm like, why would I go buy a bag of little pelleted wood? I just stick a log in the thing, and you know what I mean? Now, if you have a small grill or something like that. Now, the truth is I have propane. I have a propane grill. If we're going to grill real quick, it's absolutely going to be propane because it's easy. It's good. I had an infrared grill one time.
What is that?
It was stupid is what it was. So it was.
Does it got night vision?
It had like these, you know what it was? It was like this little plate that went, you know, like over the flame element in there. It's like there's little things. It was like this little plate with these tiny little holes that spread the heat super evenly, forced it up. It was like a whole, I was like, you know what, dude? I literally, after like 2-3 months, I took them off and just grilled like I like to grill. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. What am I doing?
Matt mentioned the Blackstone earlier. That was the other grill I was looking at. I was looking at the Blackstone. I was looking at the Traeger. The Blackstone's cool because you could like cook breakfast on it.
That's exactly it. That's my favorite thing to do on it is like a breakfast sandwich.
So what I did with the Traeger, Costco sells like this. It's like a pan that has like kind of like sort of like little bumps on it, similar. So like when you throw like a burger on it, it gives you like kind of like grill lines, but it doesn't like let the shit drop down into the grill. So it catches everything, and it's got like a skillet on the other side. That thing's awesome. Everything like just peels right off of it. Costco's amazing. I don't know how they do it. Witchcraft and I don't know.
Yeah. Industrial lights and magic. That's how they do it. But a fungus among us. I said I like wood, and Green Bean a fungus among us said Green Bean is fancy. Fucking logs. A fungus among us. I grabbed this.
Do you have a wood burning stove there?
No, I have fire pit.
Oh, you know what I mean? Dude, my wood burning stove is awesome. It's like it pumps out so much heat.
They're the best. Yeah, I'll get one eventually because I don't want to depend on power companies and everything else. Like in the event something goes down, you know, I want it, like, you know, power outage or whatever. I want to be able to do that. Plus, you save a lot of money. Heating the whole house. Those things are amazing. I'll have one for this winter. I don't have one yet though.
It's great. When I moved into my house, it had the wood burning stove, and the people before me had a ton of firewood. I probably got like 5 years worth of firewood that's already chopped, and then I got like logs that I got to like, you know, really take out and, you know, split and whatnot, let them season for like a year. Good stuff. Let's drop it in again. He says, "Oh, Franklin, cool. I went to St. Mathis as a kid. I don't know what that is. That doesn't mean anything to me. But thanks, Blitzcrew." But yeah, I work in Franklin. I saw City Burton here. He says, "What's the latest with Punt God?" So okay, let's steer this back around to Jets talk. Matt, what was your thoughts about Punt God Matt Araiza?
Yeah, so they gave him a workout. I don't think it hurts to take a look. Maybe he gets a camp invite. I'm good with running it just with Thomas Morstead. I think he is absolutely fine, but I didn't have an issue with the Jets giving him a look after we found out a little bit more information on his case.
Yeah, Green Bean, how are you feeling about the Punt God coming in for a workout?
Yeah, I'd love to see him brought in. I mean, I'm a big believer in the competition. Like, I'm with Matt. Like, I think Morstead's fine. But the thing is, they gave him a guaranteed contract, right? Where I think So that's
1.1 million guaranteed out of the 1.3 that he got.
Yeah, it's just $1 million. Why not? But it's not the worst contract as far as salary caps go and everything, of course. But like bringing in a punter like that and just have competition, like even if it lets Morstead know, and then like what if he gets hurt mid preseason? Some undrafted free agent takes a shot at him trying to make a name and he blows his, and we already got Matareza on the roster. I think it's a good thing. It doesn't look like they're going to do anything with him because I mean that was a minute ago. You'd like to see him brought in, but I think it would be smart to add him. But I'm not sure they're gonna. But I liked it. Kick the tires, man. Kick those tires, everybody.
I like the idea of bringing him in. I think competition is king. I like seeing people get second chances at stuff, especially like the way everything seems to have went down. I could have gone either way. I'm fine with Morstead. I'm fine with Punt God if he winds up, being really good. I mean, he's 22, 23 years old right now. So, and Morstead's, I think, 36 or 37. So, I mean, you're going for 2 runs at a Super Bowl here. I don't think age with your punter is necessarily highly critical. Braden Mann, let's also remember, Braden Mann has a big leg, and he was able to boot the ball pretty far, but he outkicked his coverage numerous times. So I'd rather an accurate punter with a good hang time as opposed to maybe one that's going to boot it 80 yards and have a return.
Yeah, I mean, or a touchback. How many freaking times did he kick the ball in the end zone the last 3 years?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's not. You want a coffin corner. You want him to like pin people inside the 20. I saw that. I had the stats at one point. I don't think I have them anymore. I think I want to say it was close to like 50% of his punts went inside the 20, and I think it was like 15% or 20% went inside the 10. It's like a really impressive number for a punter. Not man. Yeah. This was Punt God.
How do you think Braden Mann's going to do on the Steelers?
I didn't realize he was signed. I'll be honest.
Immediately. Like 5 minutes.
Good for him. I hope he loses them the number 1 overall pick too. Asshole. You've been dead to me since you tackled that kick returner.
No. Totally, you bastard. What a prick. We can talk about that now.
Says, anything with mangold sauce, the C of any barbecue. Not sure I know what that means.
He's saying anything's good with Nick Mangold sauce.
Well, I get that, but I don't understand the C of any barbecue. What does that mean? The C of any barbecue.
The C. Okay, Yeti, we need more. We need more info.
I need information. I can't use my context clues.
Buy a vowel.
Well, it looks like some flag, right?
Oh, the center. He says the center of any barbecue. That makes a lot more sense. I like it. Wow.
Oh.
That's like cloaks.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well done, K Yeti. We don't need any more. We're good.
Oh, it's wonderful. Joe Coolin says, Green Bean is preparing for the apocalypse. Dude, Becca laughed at me. I was like, I could totally be a prepper. If I made enough money to bury a school bus or like a shipping container, dude, man cave, hook me up to some solar panels and stuff. Dude, I love zombie movies. I love that stuff. Sign me up. Cans of soup all over the place.
Yeah.
Things that don't like shelf stable, SpaghettiOs, Twinkies, last forever.
Well, Twinkies, there you go. We're going to have chunky soup and Twinkies for the next 12 years, babe. Don't worry, I got you. She's like, my hero.
I like that kind of stuff. I like living off the land if you can. We have the garden outside. We don't, obviously, we eat a lot of stuff from it, but it's not enough to sustain like life.
Yeah, my new garden could literally sustain us for the winter. If it all comes out all right. I mean, I got enough shit in there. But yeah, I mean, look, dude, I'm gonna on my land in the next 2 to 3 years. I'll dig myself a root cellar. I'm gonna dig a well. Dude. I'm not even kidding. I'm gonna dig my own well.
Can't you get someone to drill you a well?
You know how much they charge to drill a well?
I don't know. My house already had one when I bought it.
Yeah, I'm on City Water. It's an amazing thing. Well, I'm by that military academy, right? You know, the Fork Union Military Academy where Vinny Testaverde and Eddie George all went to high school and all that. Lots and lots of NFL and NBA stars come through here. So the whole town, I mean, the town is like nothing. There's nothing here. I mean, literally, I had a hardware store / deli that just closed down. Like, we couldn't even support that. It was one store. It's gone. It just closed 2 months ago. We lost our bank last week. It's just gone. So we don't have nothing here, but we have the military academy, which is a big deal. So everybody around it's on that city water because of the military academy. So I'm like in the middle of nowhere with city water. It's the weirdest thing. So I want to have a well just in case, you know. But yeah, man, dude,
you got to have electric though. Got to have the pump. That's the only thing that sucks. Like when we lose power, we can't do anything with water.
I know. Well, I'm not going to depend on it. It's when I need it. So I'm going to have a manual.
Oh, the crank?
Yeah, you know it, buddy.
That's cool.
You know,
I want to get a generator.
A little bucket down. What?
I want to get a generator. I don't have one yet.
Oh, you got to have
We lose power like a pretty decent amount up here. There's like just a lot of trees and like telephone lines and stuff. And
I'll tell you the best generator to get. For what you're looking for, I'll help you.
I want my AC working. I can't sleep in the hot. Gotta have the AC going.
Okay. You need more.
Oh, dude, I'm looking like I'll spend the money to get the like comfort. I don't know how long I'm gonna be out for.
Get the propane generator get the whole propane on the side. It'll run your whole house for a week.
That's pretty cool.
It's as if nothing happens. Like, so the power goes out, it kicks on instantly, and you just live normally.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, they're like 15, 20 grand.
No, I'm not trying to spend that. I'm looking like sub 10. Like 7 to 10 is where I'm looking to be. I don't mind having a gas generator. That's fine. I wish I could I have 2 oil tanks in my house, and I wish there was a way to like hook up an oil tank to let it like feed a generator. I don't know of any way to do that though. I've only seen the propane and the gas, like diesel.
Right. The national average cost is between 10 and 20,000 for a whole house generator. Most people.
See, I don't want the switchboard though. I don't mind going out and starting it, because that when you add the panel onto your that's the expensive part.
So Ryan's gonna run out in the rain.
That's all right. Outside my house,
we'll do it. Sure.
It's further to get to my mailbox than the generator.
Don't worry, I'm going to take the garbage out and turn the generator on. Don't worry about it. I got it.
We're good.
That's good.
Blitzcrew says it's a Catholic school in Franklin. That was the school. So actually, I just looked it up, and I'm pretty sure they do their charity outing at Black Bear. So Blitzcrew, let me know, is Sister Mary the really like 4'8", 5 foot tall nun? She has a cardboard cutout of herself, and it's the most terrifying thing. I come around the corner and there's just this like, she's got to be like 150 years old or something. She's like ancient, ball of energy. Like, I've never seen someone with so much energy that looks so old. In a good way. Wonderful. So you have to let me know, Blitzker, if that's what you're talking about. Greg hops in with the super chat. He says, thoughts on getting DeAndre Hopkins? I think we should stand pat with Corey Davis for half the cost. He could have a breakout season with Rodgers. Thoughts? So I like the idea of Hopkins, and I think it depends on how much it's going to cost you and if it would disrupt the locker room in any capacity. Because if you think he's still good, and I mean, he looked really good last year in the games he played with Kyler, I like it. Especially if, God forbid, something happens to Garrett Wilson, like D-Hop can be your number one. Like if Wilson goes down, are you feeling super confident with Corey Davis, Lazard, and Mecole Hardman? You know, I think we have a deep room, but I think adding someone like D-Hop makes it like a top 5 to top 10 wide receiver room, where right now I think we've talked about sitting somewhere middle of the pack. On the other side of that coin, I do like putting some stock in Corey Davis this year and getting him to kind of bounce back with a really good quarterback. I've said it before, the Packers tried to trade for Corey Davis, so on some level, Aaron Rodgers did want him in Green Bay. So I think there's value in that. Not to mention Corey's been around the block here. He's You know, the team knows him. I think it seems like he's a well-liked player within the locker room. So I'm good with either one. I just hope if D-Hop goes somewhere, it's not to like the Chiefs or the Bills. I'd rather see him go to like some sort of NFC team. Matt, your thoughts?
I would much rather have DeAndre Hopkins because I don't think the cost is going to be that different. Corey Davis' cap hit is 11 million.
Yeah, we save
year.
10.5 if we cut him. So like we have 10.5 to play with, almost like with a contract, and we have 18 already right now.
Supposedly, the thought is Hopkins is going to be around the 10 million with up to 15 in incentives. So the incentives is where, you know, it gets a little, you know, finicky. It's not necessarily going to be 15 million against the cap, but I think that would be an upgrade that's worthwhile. I'm good with Corey as like the third or fourth wide receiver option, but Hopkins is a legitimate upgrade and would be a really solid running mate for Garrett Wilson, and you're not, you know, giving up anything in a trade to make that happen. If you could essentially have it as a wash between the money that you would save in cutting Corey Davis and adding DeAndre Hopkins, I think that's a no-brainer.
I heard something earlier today where they thought that Hop wasn't going to get as much money. Where I think he was on a contract for 19 million, and I think officially he was released today, actually. So if he wound up somewhere, I think it was Rappaport said on the McAfee show today. I think it was that. I thought I saw something where they think his number's ultimately going to be somewhere around or maybe a little lower than Odell, and I would rather have DeAndre Hopkins than Odell, 100%. Yep. Greenbean, what are your thoughts on DeAndre Hopkins?
Well, I'll tell you what, for a guy who played 9 games and still had 700 yards with Colt McCoy, it says a whole bunch about what he's capable of doing still. I mean, there's a lot there, you know, suspensions, injuries, age, money, all that kind of stuff. But like you said, if you're legitimately looking at signing him, like if he says, okay, I'm willing to come, it's $14 million, and you're looking at a $3 million, $4 million kind of increase over Corey Davis, you can let him go. I think you got to do it. I don't know if they will, because D-Hop is known he doesn't block, right? He's not part of the run game. Now he's so good, even at this age, that you kind of overlook that sort of thing. I mean, he's, like you said, if Garrett Wilson goes down, D-Hop is absolutely he slides right into your best receiver role with Lazard, McCall Hardman, Mims, all those guys. So I think it's something to consider. I mean, he did say no to the Jets, that whole thing that went on when he didn't speak, when he just made faces. Aaron Rodgers wasn't here yet. He did put out that list of quarterbacks he wants to play with. Aaron Rodgers wasn't on it. So maybe he's doubling down, you know, maybe he's saying it because he already said he didn't want to go to the Jets. I don't know. Money talks, bullshit walks, right? So it's going to be about what he gets out there. But I think if you have the opportunity to upgrade from Corey Davis to DeAndre Hopkins, I think you do it, you know, and you deal with the block and you let your tight ends do what they're supposed to do, and you let DeAndre Hopkins run amok. But that said, I don't love the idea. I just want him to know, like, Garrett Wilson's getting fed first. And you need to know that. Like, we don't want any riffs, any bullshit pouting on the sideline when you have 3 catches and he has 8. Like, we don't want to do that here. So, I don't know. I think you do it, though, if you get the chance.
King Choice says, we're laughing, but the CDC said a zombie apocalypse could possibly happen in our lifetime. Plus, the U.S. government actually has a zombie apocalypse plan. Hopefully, the Jets can win a chip before that. Yeah, dude, I love watching Walking Dead and, like, playing these what-if games. Like, okay, well, where would I go if there was, like, a zombie apocalypse? And I think living out in the sticks is one of, like, the best answers you could possibly have, because there's, like, wildlife and less people out here. Go get into, like, a tree stand, that sort of thing. What would you do, Matt? Zombie apocalypse. You're on an island with a zillion people on it. You're toast.
Yeah, I would say.
Get in a boat.
What's the samurai thing that they do? You know, I forgot what the
akimbo.
Yeah, I forgot what
like
it's called.
Dual wield?
No. I don't know. I think I'd bow out.
Like the
Yeah. I don't want
Sebaku
to
or
say
whatever.
yeah. I think I'd bow out. Say that's it. It's been real. It's been fun.
Have you ever read The Road or seen the movie?
Yes, in college.
Yo,
I had
depressing. It is so sad.
I'd be like the mom. I'd be like, that's it. That's a wrap.
Oh my god.
I'm going off into the snow.
Well, it's so sad. They have 2 bullets and like they have to use one on like some invader or whatever it was at the time. And now they have 1 bullet left and they're in this like horrible situation and like what's going to happen? It's just the dad and the kid. And then you see the people trapped in like the bottom of the oh god. Green Bean, you ever see The Road or read The Road?
No, I don't really know this one.
Yo, it's like a post-apocalyptic book that they turned into a movie, and it is like the most bleak. Like, this is what the end of the world's actually going to look like. Let's not get here. It's like it sucks. It's brutal. Not fun.
The Road, is it new, old?
No, it's been out for a while. I think the movie came out probably late 2008, 9, 10, somewhere in ish that ballpark. I think I read the book in 2011 or so, and it had been out for a little while.
Yeah. So I was in college, and we watched the movie in class. So that was 2015, 16. So it was out a few years.
The movie was
that,
out.
So.
I was gonna say the movie was definitely out when I read the book, and it's pretty similar. But what would you do, Green Bean, for a zombie apocalypse?
I would eat my green beans and my corn and my potatoes. I have golden russets and Maine whites coming up, and I would wait. And if I would use all my bullets. I'd blow heads off, and then I'd get eaten. That's what would happen. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. I'd get my guitar out. I'd have my wife. We'd sing some songs by the fire, and we'd live. And then when they go, they come and they get us.
Well, it depends on the zombie, right? Like, are we talking Walking Dead zombies that like are real like slow and cumbersome and you can kind of corral them? Or are you going to like have those friggin' scary ones from like World War Z that are like screaming and running at you?
Yeah, that's what I see. I know. Right. Can you imagine? Remember, what was that one, Zombieland or something, when they were like,
oh I love that movie. Love Zombieland.
Right? That was the funny one.
Yep.
They were all slow and stupid.
With Woody Harrelson and Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Friggin'
But no, there was that other one with that guy. It was a
There's
funny
also
movie.
Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Like when they're in the mall. Well, the remake was in the mall.
There was one, it was totally funny. It was like zombies were just completely harmless. They were so stupid. And you could just do anything. Just like, lived life or whatever with zombies around. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Like when I think
Shaun of the Dead is another one. That's a great movie.
Yeah, I might be Shaun of the Dead.
It's not Shaun of the Dead. It was definitely still coming after them. I'm trying to think of what it is. There was a love movie one that came out a while ago that had zombies that were pretty like, I don't want to say lame, but pretty.
Twilight?
That's vampires.
Oh,
I don't know enough about it, but I do know that one's vampires. Have you ever seen Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer? Great movie. Fantastic.
There's no way that
top
could
10 all
possibly
time.
be a good movie.
Oh my God. You've never seen it? You need to see Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer.
I would almost rather do anything else with 2 hours.
No, dude, it's wild. It is so, like, you're going into it. Like, you got to think of it almost like you're going to Transformers. You're not going to see a plot. You're going to see robots beating the snot out of each other and missiles and bombs and things going off. Like, it's like Battleship, the same thing. Like, I'm going to a movie named Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. And, like, he's just whipping a hatchet around and, like, oh, dude, it's a lot of fun. That's like, you don't go into it with high expectations, but you come out of it saying, holy hell, our president was boss.
Yeah.
That's a real life story.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking of Shaun of the Dead. Maybe I have it a little bit backwards or something like that, but that's the guy I was thinking of, the main character. But like when I think of zombie apocalypse, I don't think of I think of what like World War Z, like, just incessant, unstoppable droves of people who want to eat you. Remember the one Bird Box? Remember that shit when they just went nuts? That was crazy. You know,
So World War Z, I don't know. So the movie was way different than the book. I took a post-apocalyptic, or actually no, I took Zombie Nation in college. That was an extracurricular elective class.
God.
Oh, it was great. So World War Z, the way the book ends, I'm pretty sure I have the right story in mind. They have like a line of people with a ton of machine guns, like in the desert, and they have these huge speakers and they're bumping music and they're getting all the zombies to come running at them and they're just like mowing zombies down the whole time. I was like, I wish that's how they ended the movie. It's great. Absolutely great.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Zombie apocalypse. Something's gonna happen. Just know it. This one's over, everybody. Just like you said, who said? I just hope the Jets win a damn ring before. That's what I want. I want the Jets to win. We can have a party. We can laugh and sing and hug and kiss, and then just kind of fold ourselves into the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. Then the asteroid hits.
Yeah, then the asteroid hits. It's like they say, like, what if there was an asteroid coming to Earth? Like, what do you do? I'd go underground. I would get my wife and kids. I'd get our favorite whatever meal, drink, whatever it is, and you sit down on your roof and you watch the greatest show on Earth. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's it.
That's the way to do it. You can't do anything.
What are you gonna do?
It's what like what was the movie with like the big wave? I think it was 2012 when the dad and the daughter like just go stand out on the beach and they're like, we're just gonna watch this big wall of water come flying at us. Just boom, dead instantly. Like it's crazy. But that's like you're watching like the earth implode and like sparks fly and everything. That's how you do it. Don't go underground.
Yeah. What was that one? Don't Look Up. You ever see that movie?
That was a great movie.
Such a good
so
movie,
much fun.
Really, really great movie. Such a great play on where we are. But like at the end when they just had dinner, around the table and they heard it all happen, and it was just they held hands and they just looked at each other and it was like, all right, well, this is it.
This is it.
That's the way to do it, man. That's the way to do it. Running around, fighting with some stranger over a roll of toilet paper in the damn shop, right? Like, what are you doing, man? No, that's why I already have 6,000 rolls of toilet paper anyway. I don't need it.
Yeah, I stockpiled it. I put it in my buried school bus I have in the backyard.
Exactly right.
Perfect.
I got 2,000 MREs in my basement right now. I'm ready to go.
There you go.
Whenever I hear MRE, I think of the guy, the military guy from Tremors. Another great movie. I don't know if you guys have seen Tremors.
I didn't like that movie.
What? Matt, have you ever seen Tremors?
No.
Oh, Kevin Bacon. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's one of like there's so many things that like from a storytelling narrative standpoint and like film perspective, like with little things that come back later on and like things that mean other things, like really smart movie, but just a lot of fun. I could graboids. But this guy, they decided there's like these underground worms. And this guy's got a ton of MREs in his house, just like loads and loads and loads of them. And that's how they like survive at one point. Sorry, we're getting off the rails here. Midnight Show. Totally. Midnight Mike Show. Thank you so much for the super chat. Sorry, it took so long to actually get to it. He says, remember, as a prepper, you can apocalypse disaster prep all you want, but without a gun to protect it, it means nothing. Go Jets. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to have solar panels on your house for sure. That's like a dead giveaway. Like people try to steal that stuff even if they don't know like how to use it or how to hook it up. Like you're kind of like telegraphing. You almost want to make it look like your house has been broken into already and like no one wants to be there.
Well, that's the thing. Like with solar panels, what that insinuates is that the people in there have supplies, like they're ready. So if you're starving and all that jazz, you'll go over there. There was that story of the guy in Egypt. He had spent his whole life like preparing, and he had he had all this food and everything, and then he walked around with a 9mm, and he had like a wall around his house and the whole thing, and then he decided to grill. And everybody that was out there they smelt the food, they found it, and they came over. He shot the first guy. They overran him, and they killed him, and they took everything. And it's like it's more than just having a gun. It's about the plan. He's right. Midnight Mike is absolutely right. You'd better have some arms. Me and my neighbor are already talking about, like, dude, let me just tell you the slam dunk that I hit with my neighbor and I. He's literally on YouTube as the bearded prepper. I shit you not.
That's cool.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's my neighbor, dude. So like he's such a good guy. I love him. I'm telling you, man. And he's teaching me all kinds of stuff, but we got the preliminary action plan in play. We're already working on it. Thank you. Hold on a second. I got to take an allergy. Speaking of all my prepper, my allergies are bothering me, so I got to take this.
Yeah, your allergies are going to act up real bad when the zombie horde comes.
Yeah.
Oh, we heard him.
Yeah, get the zombies. Oh, and all the pollen. Oh my God. It's crazy, but I'll have a whole bunch of. Hey, Matt, you got any meds down there? You got your antibiotics and everything with your MREs?
Yeah, you got to not.
I don't
can't
really
throw
have
out any of your old
sure,
stuff.
Yeah.
You know how to go get antibiotics real quick without getting prescription? You want to know how to do it?
Let's hear it.
Sure.
Go to any pet store and buy fish antibiotics. They have amoxicillin. The government's making it illegal this year
to buy it, like fit the fish amoxicillin.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
It makes sense because they don't want you doing it. The pharmaceutical companies don't want you doing that anymore. But that's how to do it. You just go to the pet store, you buy amoxicillin, penicillin, all the stuff is all right there. Just buy it. It's for fish. It's the same exact shit. So you just do that.
Like a fish. I like water. It's great.
Right.
Works out. It's all the same stuff.
Figure it out.
Ish. No, I'm not a doctor. No. I'm not going to tell you.
Have antibiotics on hand, man. Got to do that too. I know. I have about I think I have 2 months of, you can call them MREs. They're not really MREs, but they're the same type of thing.
Like astronaut ice cream, like that kind of stuff, like the powdered.
I do. I have a little bit of ice cream. I have some fun stuff. Why not? You know what I mean? You got to have some treats. You're going to live in a hole. If you're going to be living in my root cellar for 3 years, you might as well have some ice cream.
Family Guy taught me Twinkies go through apocalypses. So like you got to find the Twinkie factory. Wherever that is.
Well, wasn't Shaun of the Dead, didn't it? Or that was the Woody Harrelson one. They found the Twinkies, right?
Twinkie, yeah, that was the Zombieland.
Zombieland.
With all the rules and everything. I could watch
great.
zombie movies for days. It was funny. The first, when I went on family leave when we had Shay, I started probably end of October or so. And there was like a 2-month stretch leading up to Christmas where I was just catching up on shows because I work all year and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to hang out with her, take care of her, and watch shows. And I was watching Walking Dead. I was like, I just got to finish it. Got to finish out the whole season. And now they're doing all these different spinoffs, and I'm like, why did I waste all my time on that? Because I'm not going to waste my time on all the other spinoffs that are coming out. But anyway, Shay for a while was going making more of the zombie sound than some of the goos and gaws. Becca's like, you cannot watch Walking Dead with our daughter. She's pick up on the sounds and everything. I was like, she's sub 6 months. It's fine. She'll forget it.
Right. She'll forget it all. You know what though? Let me tell you. I just found out when my kid, when my son was little, I showed him select scenes from Game of Thrones, like the dragon stuff and all that. Yeah. And I thought to myself, I just wanted to show him a cool dragon thing or whatever. He's 5, and I found out this weekend that everything I showed him was the finale of each season, and he remembers all of it. I'm like,
dude, the second to last episode of every season of Game of Thrones were the Wall, Blackwater Bay. Blackwater Bay one is awesome.
Right. Or I showed him the Night King reanimating the dragon. You know what I mean? I showed him Daenerys with the dragon, when she took, and killed the slave owner. I'm like, I ruined it. I said, you weren't supposed to remember any of that shit, man. He's like, yeah. My wife goes, that's every finale of you're the worst. I am. I'm not a spoiler guy. I hate spoilers, and I ruined it. I ruined the best show ever.
I recently upgraded my collection of movies and shows and stuff, and I downloaded the 4K HDR stuff, which if you guys are big movie buffs, if you want to jump up in quality, 4K HDR with 10-bit audio, oh man, magical. Absolutely. The colors for Blackwater Bay. Like, I thought the green was cool when I first saw it, like however many years ago. But like I watched it in 4K and I was like, oh man, I didn't know colors could do that. Incredible. Because there's 4K and then there's 4K HDR. And the HDR, the high dynamic range, that is the critical piece that like it's a pain in the ass because you need like a video player that can read the codec. You need the TV that can like watch the codec, and then you also need like speakers to read, like to hear like the certain specific audio frequency and whatnot. But oh man, magic.
I have 4K HDR in my root cellar, dude.
Ah, the smart man.
Yeah, right next to the bus.
If I could hook up my entire like movie library to the generator, like I'll ride a bicycle to power it. I don't care. Watch all these movies. Yeah. It's great.
This is awesome. This is the greatest show ever, dude. I love this. This is awesome.
We got 237 people in here that are enjoying well, maybe they're enjoying, or they're just falling asleep. And we're just talking about random stuff. Ace of Spade, he's trying to dial us back in. He goes, try Becton at right tackle after his reluctance. So that's an interesting thing, right? Like Becton was saying he's not a right tackle. The coaches put me on the right-hand side. That got me hurt. It wasn't the 400 pounds that I carried with me into camp. I hope Becton earns the left tackle spot. I really do. That would be awesome to see because that's a good problem. And if Brown has to be his backup because Brown can't play the right-hand side, if that's what they deem, then I would go out and I'd try to get George Fant back, see if he'll play right tackle. If you can't get him, hey, AVT, maybe you're kicking out to right tackle. McGovern, you're either going to be center or guard, and Tippmann, you're going to be whatever the other one would wind up being. And I think you just play your 5 best offensive linemen however you do it. I have a hard time right now thinking that Becton is going to be the left tackle. Like I see him at right tackle. I see Brown at left tackle. That feels like the best combination of tackles right now. But from a value standpoint and everything, like I want Becton to earn it and be the guy long term. Matt, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, he wins the starting left tackle job. I just don't know how likely that is. Like at this point in Brown's career, do you think he comes back if he doesn't think he has a good chance to win the starting left tackle job? I find that hard to believe. I think he should play right tackle. You know, beggars can't be choosers. He hasn't played in 2 years, so you might have to suck it up and play on the offside. If not, I think that's why Joe Douglas is bringing in all these bodies. You have, Billy Turner, who filled in on the Packers offensive line for years, and Hackett loves and Rodgers really likes a lot. So they have options. It's not as good as 𝐒𝐭𝐫, but I think in a perfect world he ends up over there on the right side, and Dwayne Brown is your starting left tackle.
Greenme, what about you? How are you feeling about Becton playing right tackle after everything that's kind of gone down?
Well, I think he's gonna, like Matt said, I think I'm in the middle, right? Like I think best case scenario would be that Mekhi Becton gets a shot to compete for left tackle and blows their doors off, right? Like there is no way in hell that you can justify playing that man over me, that 38-year-old guy over me. I'm hungry, I'm lean, I'm mean, I'm pissed off. And he's a talented kid. Like we can't forget how good he really was in college and his rookie year. So I think that's best case. Likely is that Mekhi Becton and Dwayne Brown kind of push, and Dwayne Brown can't move to the right side, so that pushes Becton, and Becton gets an opportunity to make a choice. Like, all right, look, you can be the backup left tackle, or you can be the starting right tackle. It's both yours for the taking. Make a choice and do that. And I think in that case, he'd be stupid to just stay at left tackle because Dwayne Brown is known to be healthy, and last year he wasn't healthy, and he's known to play through it. So it's going to be a tough go, hoping that you get your shot behind Dwayne Brown. The other side of it is if Becton does win and Dwayne Brown ends up being a very, very good backup and contingency plan for a player who's been injured the last 2 years, the best case would be that Max Mitchell came back. He's been in the strength program. He looks it. And he takes that starting role, and then he's backed up by Billy Turner, and then we have Carter Warren kind of grooming, and 𝐒𝐿'𝐵𝐾𝐽, who I loved in the draft, man. I think this is such a sneaky good pickup. Who knows where he is? But it was always said that he was going to need a couple years to cut. His issues were kind of always play strength. Like he was like balance and play strength. He has such talent. And I'd have to go reacclimate myself with all his stuff. It's been a minute, but I really liked him. I think he's sneaky good and can compete, maybe push some, push to make the roster. But anyway, I think Becton and Max Mitchell would be my best case scenario, but I think likely is Dwayne Brown at the left, Mekhi Becton at the right. And I think if he's presented with that opportunity, that choice, I think that he'll be wise to just accept it and play right tackle, bust your ass, do a good job over there, and earn it to be put over at the left side next year.
Jason comes in and says, my zombie apocalypse was Gase's last year here. Dude, talk about a depressing year that ended in even more depression because we didn't get the #1 overall pick. Like, that was just such a kick in the balls of a season. Terrible. Niem Laster.
Gase was a zombie, dude. Gase was a zombie.
Just terrible.
Oh, my, see his
I try
face.
to blank out those 2 years of my life. Just
oh, but that's when we all fell in love. That was our.
That's true.
That was our
that's
honeymoon.
when we met. No. Players you would like the Jets to sign. Is Quan Alexander still out there? Is that someone that's like still floating around? Yeah. He's out there. I mean, everyone's going to say D-Hop right now. I don't know. I mean, there's a few like pieces that I would look at. Quan's the one that kind of jumps out at me as far as like, okay, he was good here last year, but there's got to be some reason why we're not signing him. I don't know if he wants like a lot of money or the coaches are just, they like Sherwood more. What do you think, Green Bean?
I think Sherwood is the starting guy. I think he's ready. But I think the Quan thing, look, we signed it. When did we sign him? July last year or something like that? Yep. It was very late in the game. They're letting Quan go out there and try to capitalize on the first year he stayed healthy since 2016, man. I totally get it from Quan's perspective. He's trying to get a last payday. He was one of the elite linebackers for years. Couldn't stay healthy those last few years. Comes to the Jets, plays 49% of the snaps, stays healthy, and he's trying to parlay that into a payday. Doesn't look like it's going to happen the way that he wants. So I think bringing him back, especially kind of that all-in mentality, would be a good move. But if not, if he's like, hey, I'm not taking less than $4 million or something like that, and they want to give him 1.7 and it just doesn't work, I'm ready, man. I'm ready for Sherwood. I'm ready for Jets fans, myself included, to start believing in the pipeline developmental process again. We used to do this, man. We used to have guys that could come up that were on our roster for a year or two, and they filled in and they were the starters for a few years. Like, that's the way that it should be. Puha was like that. Snacks Harrison did that. Like, so we had guys that we kind of developed, and I think it would be really great to get back there. Sherwood is going into his third year. He played really well in the limited duty that he was able to, the limited opportunities that he got last year. He had 16 tackles, 12 of them were solo tackles. The guy's ready, man, in my opinion. And I think we could do a lot worse. I would be really excited to see him get his opportunity, and I think he would make good. It's scary, and I understand why Jets fans are hesitant to kind of buy into that idea. But I think if he was able to do that, and then you got a guy like Ruckert who sat on the bench for a year and comes in and plays, and we start bringing in our young guys, our mid to late round picks, they have a year or two on our roster. Max Mitchell was supposed to do that. He got thrown into starting duty, like those kinds of guys, and they end up being our starters. That's the way to have sustained success. And I think it would be really great to start with Sherwood. So I'm excited either way. I think that Quan's still on the table, though.
Matt, what about you? Someone you want to sign?
Yeah, Quan has to be pretty high on the list. And I think what they're doing is they're allowing him to see what else is out there, but they might have that last call in a way. It'd be like, hey, you know, Pittsburgh's offering me 1 year at this. Can you match or can you do better or whatever? And maybe they'll say, yeah, you know, we'll bring you back, sure, at that. Or nah, we're not really, we're comfortable with where we are, you know, sign that deal, that's fine. But I think his relationship with Salah is why the Jets could potentially get a last call there. But I love Quan for this team. I know that they're high on Jamie Sherwood. It seems like any opportunity Robert Saleh has, he will go out of his way to talk about Sherwood and how he believes in him and thinks he's going to be a really good player. I just think in a year where you're going for it, I'd rather trust the veteran who's shown it and proved it to me than the unknown of what Jamie Sherwood is.
Well said. Knobcraft comes in and says, Michael Clemens versus zombies. Yeah, it's not even a contest. Michael Clemens would, like, he's going to turn the zombies into more Michael Clemens once he bites them. That's what's going to happen.
That's not what we want. We don't need more Michael
dude,
Clemens.
it'd be terrifying. I mean, hopefully they're all Jet fans and we're fine. That's how it all works out. Dude's a walking Chuck Norris joke, and I love it. Dom C comes in. What's up, dude? Dom C. I know D-Hop is the talk of the town, but how do you guys feel about a potential trade for Kevin Byard of the Titans and move on? If the Titans want to move on, what would you offer? So Byard has 2 years remaining on his contract, and then he has 2 void years. So it's for salary cap purposes. He would be on a, for all intents and purposes, 2 years, $14 million per year deal. He's 30 years old right now. I would absolutely bring him in. I don't know what it would cost in terms of draft capital. I don't think it would be a whole heck of a lot, but I would definitely bring him in. I would almost, I mean, the nice thing is you could cut Corey Davis and bring in Byard and DeAndre Hopkins, and you could do that, but I like the idea of upgrading with Byard. I think he wants to win a Super Bowl. He's at that stage in his career. He's still playing at a high level. His valuation last year, so it's actually lower than what his average per year salary is. According to Over the Cap, he played at a $9.5 million salary threshold, and he's getting 14.1 per year. So maybe a little bit of an overpay for a position that I think a few of us feel is a little bit on the weaker side. Matt, what say you about Kevin Byard?
I really like him and think that would be that roaming free safety that the Jets very obviously still have a need for. I've said this, I can't even count how many times, but I feel like Jet fans and us in particular, we value safety more than this regime does. So I don't think they would do it, but I really don't think it would cost all that much in a trade because of the money that's still left to that you'd have to give them. So I think it'd be like a day 3 pick kind of a thing, which I would be more than okay with giving that up for what would be a quality starting free safety and an obvious upgrade.
Yeah, and I think if he's, let's see, if he's cut post June 1st, it does save them $14 million. So maybe there's some situation where they're looking at like potentially saving the cap space and eating the contract right now if they don't think they're going to go very far. And just getting a pick as we inch closer to training camp may not be the craziest thing. They have $10 million in salary cap right now, so they don't necessarily need it. But yeah, I think a day 3 pick could get it done. Green Bean, what do you think about Kevin Byard?
I feel like Joe Douglas has an endless supply of money this year. Doesn't it feel like that? It's just like, do it. Whatever.
That's what
doesn't it feel like
the
that?
Bills signed Von Miller at $20 million after their team was loaded. Like there's got to be money to go around. 100%.
I'm telling you, it's just like for so many years we're like, oh, we're salary cap, we don't have any money. All of a sudden Joe Douglas is like, I don't care. Bring in everybody. I don't care. Yes, we're going to sign Quinnen. I don't care. I love it. I feel like we have an endless supply of money. The Kevin Byard stuff is interesting. I saw that. I forget where it started. Somebody was talking about it. I forget. But that'd be interesting. I don't know. It looks like the Jets just want to do this Tony Adams thing, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know. Maybe we're holding out. Maybe we're waiting for something like this. But I mean, I think the way I saw it was Denzel Mims for Kevin Byard. I mean, granted, it's not necessarily an even swap, but it's like, because he's, I guess, they're talking about pay cuts and all that stuff over there, and he's disgruntled and all that kind of shit. Mm-hmm. So who knows? But Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd be happy if we did it. I mean, I'd be, because that's like the hole in our defense, right? Is this safety question. So, yeah, I mean, I'd be happy. I think Joe Douglas just go out there and do everything we like. Get D-Hop and Byard. Why not?
Well, I think we're at what, like 93 or like 100 players on every roster right now, and it gets cut down towards the end of the summer. So you think they're going to lose like half the players on every single roster. There's going to be a lot of guys hitting the open market and guys that maybe show a little bit of promise. Maybe they want to save that massive cap hit from Byard and roll it into next year, as opposed to wasting it on a safety that doesn't necessarily want to be there anyway. And if they're asking him for a pay cut, then he gets to choose wherever he wants to go, and it's almost like a good situation on both sides. So I'm for it. I would like to see it. Douglas drops in, says, when Rodgers left Green Bay, he told them they were never, ever, ever getting back together. Oh, man, you had me like halfway through that, and I didn't realize what was happening. And then I started reading the ever, ever. I was like, this guy's good. That was touche, Douglas.
Well done.
Very well done. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. I couldn't work that into that.
Oh.
Just talking T-Swift quotes all night.
You know what he said to Brian Gutekunst after he came out of the Darkness Retreat?
What did he say?
He said, now we have bad blood.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I got it. I don't think I have the page pulled up anymore. Now I got to look up more T-Swift songs. So good. As long as it ends in a Jets Super Bowl, I don't care what happens. I hope if the Jets do win the Super Bowl, we're like blasting T-Swift down like New York City.
Oh, totally, dude. Taylor Swift should be the official music of this season.
If we wouldn't get demonetized, play T-Swift before every stream.
I know, we should.
They'd be like, no, sorry.
Yeah, we're taking everything. We're going to shut you down.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor Swift's a tyrant. She ain't having it.
Tell you, no. Copyright infringement. Let's see. What else we got in here? Just scrolling through the chat, seeing what people are talking about in here. A Fungus Among Us says, milk the thumbs. That's right. We got 230 people in here. We only got 121 likes. Green bean.
Let's go. Get us those milk thumbs.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
It's so good.
We're going to have to come up with some type of graphic or emoji for that.
I know. I
milk
was
thumbs
working
is
on
too
it.
good.
I had somebody draw something up. It was terrible.
So yeah, hit those thumbs. Get more likes than that in here.
There's a way to
Tony
do it
says, we want Quan back, our free agent bargain. Yeah, everyone wants a deal, right? That's what we're hoping for.
Here we go. I'll figure it out for us.
Hater says, Dom, Byard and Clark would be our elite second, or make our secondary elite, truly. It'd be fun to watch.
It would.
Linebacker and safety are the two positions I'm not feeling super confident about. I'm less concerned about them than I am offensive line, though. I just want the offensive line to be good, because as long as the O-line's good, I feel like we're in all right shape.
𝐎'𝐿𝐵𝐞𝐞𝐬.
What? What are you saying?
𝐎'𝐿𝐵𝐞𝐞𝐬, everybody. That's where it's at.
Means.
That's the guy we just signed
today.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yodney.
Didn't know that.
I get no respect. Yodney.
Yeah, sorry. Wasn't paying attention. Hawk says, F D-Hop, man. He said he didn't want us before, and I'm good with another one and done. Brandon Marshall, who becomes an all-time Jet for one season. Corey Davis deserves to be here. If I could have Brandon Marshall back, like if he was like 85% of what he was, dude, I love Brandon Marshall. It just feels like he's a fun person to have in the locker room, which is funny because like early in his career, he was not.
Did you watch the 2016 Jets?
Was he bad in the locker room? I didn't know that if he was bad in the locker room.
Yeah, it was him and
Sheldon Richardson.
Sheldon. Yeah, he was a poison.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, I don't remember it then. I blanked it out. Jeez.
Because, yeah. Well,
but that was after, that was when we were sucking, right? That was like the horrible year.
So bad.
Yeah, because him and Mangold and Decker were all stood on the table for Fitzpatrick, and then he had a 6-interception game against the Chiefs, and then the defense got mad.
That's right. And then it fell apart. And Rankins was on, not Rankins, Richardson was on the plane, and they were like going at it, I guess. Yeah. Now it's all coming back.
Yeah.
That sucked.
Todd Bowles and his mastery at keeping the team motivated. Did you see the clips that came out today of it said the search for Brady's replacement? Oh, it was beautiful.
Baker and Trask, yeah, they look great, right, Green Bean?
Dude, it was so bad. Like, look, we're all talking about Zach, right? He's throwing passes in practice and he looks good, and everybody's like, calm down, he's in shorts. Well, let me just tell you that Trask and Baker in shorts, dude, it was atrocious. Yeah, it looked like it's like me and you playing catch, and I just cannot get you the ball. Can't do it.
Dude, how about the friggin' Vegas Raiders? Jimmy G hasn't even I think he hasn't officially signed, or he hasn't been paid $1 yet because he can't pass a physical.
Yeah.
Tell me Tom Brady signed with the Raiders as a partial owner to come back later on because Jimmy G can't play. Imagine if the Jets went after Jimmy G. Horrible.
Dude, let me just say this. Josh McDaniels does it again, okay?
Mm-hmm. I love it.
We were talking about it all off. I love it, dude. I love it. I mean, look, I don't root for anybody to be injured, or I'm not happy Jimmy G to hold. But, dude, Josh McDaniels did it when he went to Denver. Jay Cutler was going into his 4th year. He just had a 4,500-yard season, and all he wanted to do was get rid of him. Okay, he got rid of him for Matt Castle. It never happened because he blew the trade with the Patriots or whatever. Ended up trading Cutler to the Bears for 1st-round picks, and Kyle Orton used a 1st-round pick on Tim Tebow. That worked. So then he goes to the Raiders. He goes to the Colts. Then reneges, he accepts their head coaching, then says, no, I don't want it, screws them over, then goes to the Raiders. All he wants to do is get rid of Derek Carr, blows it up so he can't even get a 7th-round pick for a 4,000-yard passer, gets nothing, goes for Jimmy G, another Josh McDaniels guy, and he can't even pass a friggin' physical, dude. Josh, mother effing McDaniels effect. It's on repeat, dude. I'm so delighted. Anybody who was buying into this guy is a fool. They would say, oh, if Derek Carr was so good, why don't the Raiders want him? Josh McDaniels. That's why. I said it.
Idiot.
There it is.
That's my favorite drop. Guy's an idiot.
Best. So good.
There's no one, aside from Belichick, McDaniels is easily my second most hated coach. He's just a real prick. I had all those coaches bought homes and were planning to move to Indianapolis, and he backed out. They all got screwed.
Yeah, terrible
Human being.
Bad guy.
Bad
I hope
man.
he burns his tongue on hot coffee.
Yes.
Zips his pants up too fast and gets hurt.
I hope he did the hot coffee right before he takes his wife out for their beautiful gourmet dinner, and he can't even taste it. That's what
Can't taste the steak. Yeah.
Can't taste the damn thing. He's like, the whole time, he's like, this is bullshit. That's what I want. The whole dinner. Fucking bullshit.
Daniel thinks that DeAndre Hopkins winds up in Buffalo. I think that's where he does want to wind up, but I don't think Buffalo is going to give him the money he wants. I don't know how afraid I am of him going to Buffalo or Miami. I don't want him there, but I don't know how afraid I am of him with our corners. I feel like our defense has given me far more confidence than I probably should have.
I would rather him go to an NFC team, but supposedly I read earlier today that the Bills and Chiefs are in an arms race to land DeAndre Hopkins, which is a little frightening. If he had to go anywhere, I don't know, maybe New England, because I don't really have any fear of who's throwing the football there. It's not like Allen or Mahomes or someone like that.
I heard a rumor like possibly the Browns too, like reunite with Hopkins or reunite with Deshaun Watson over there. That would be interesting. Either way, like, yeah, I would like him to be in the NFC, but I don't know. The Chiefs and Bills are 31st and 32nd in salary cap space, so there's going to have to be some maneuvering to work him into the cap. Jets are a good option. It feels like he doesn't want to be here at all, like even with Aaron Rodgers here. And I don't take too much stock in the like, oh, what quarterbacks do you want throwing you the ball? Because I feel like that was a little more off the cuff. Like, I don't know if that was a teed up question where I know if you asked me to name all 32 football teams without like writing down like by division and I were just rattling them off, I'd be missing like 2 or 3 teams every time I do it. Like, I actually have to run through the division and say, like, okay, this is who's in each one. So I would think maybe on the cuff of, like, okay, who's your top 5 quarterbacks? Maybe there's a similar sort of pause. And he forgot about Aaron Rodgers because he's not thinking about a 40-year-old quarterback. He's thinking about, sub 30. I think all his quarterbacks were sub 30. Pretty sure. Alan comes in. Alan says, poll question, worst head coach, McDaniels, Gase, Kotite, Urban Meyer, or Chip Kelly? Well, I can't do 5, unfortunately. And Gase got us Zach Wilson, so we must be happy. I can't put Gase as worst head coach because we got Douglas, and I really, really like Joe Douglas. Like, I think he's the best GM we've ever had. If putting up with Gase for those 2 years is going to net us Aaron Rodgers and Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson and all that other stuff. So I can't in good faith put Gase as the worst. Urban Meyer was a pretty spectacular explosion down in Jacksonville. Chip Kelly was kind of ahead of his time, but not where he needed to be in the NFL. I'm going to say Urban Meyer. No. Worst head coach, it's McDaniels. Through and through McDaniels. Matt, what do you think?
I think it has to be Rich Kotite. I know that's a little before my time, but what was the record with the Jets? 4-28, a 125 win percentage in 2 years. I think that's got to take the cake.
That's pretty bad. I guess worst. I was thinking, like, I guess I wasn't thinking win-loss necessarily. I don't like McDaniels. He blew up, 2 teams. The Raiders were in the playoffs the year prior.
I think there are definitely the other guys on this list are definitely more toxic. So if that was
that's a good way to put that.
If the question was toxic, I might go Gase or Urban Meyer, but I think just overall worse. I think I have to go Kotite.
Kotite was bad. I used to wear a Ditch Rich shirt to the games. I went to every single game during the Kotite era, and it was bad. But the thing is, what was interesting about that team was that we were very competitive. Like, the team was very good, and we had like Crabette and Keyshawn, we had Neil O'Donnell, we had Adrian Morrell, we had Jeff Graham. We had a lot of talent, Mo Lewis, lots and lots of, and like we would just blow it. Like, and then there were injuries, and Frank Reich played for us during the Kotite years. It was just a very weird thing where we were known for, it didn't matter if we were up by 21 in the fourth quarter, we were going to lose. And that's kind of what happened. The one game that we did win was against the Arizona, I think the Phoenix Cardinals at the time. And we almost
was an away
gave
game
that
too. It was an away game. I was at the 1-15 season. And it was, we sat through the friggin' snow and the rain and everything.
Jeez.
Yeah. So it was a weird thing. Like, Kotite, like that's what it all comes down to Kotite. But I mean, even the draft, like, he gets a lot of flack for passing on Warren Sapp. Because don't forget, Kotite was also our general manager. He wasn't just a coach, because Dick Steinberg died from cancer. So Leon Hess just decided, hey, let's just not replace him and let's just let Rich do the whole thing. And he passed on Warren Sapp for Kyle Brady. But the other side, yes, it was obviously a foolish move, but there was another side to it, which was we had a second first-round pick and we got Hugh Douglas, who won Defensive Rookie of the Year that year. and was very, very good. I mean, he's not a Hall of Famer. He's not Warren Sapp, but he was very good. Parcells ended up trading him for a second-round pick because he cried on the sideline during a win because he didn't get stats. He thought he should have did better, and Parcells just said, okay, goodbye. It was literally, he's like, oh, you really? It's about you? And he just jettisoned them. He was very good for the Eagles. But anyway, there's more to it. But like the Kotite thing is weird because it was a miserable time. And obviously, you know, like Matt said, I mean, it's like as far as wins and losses, the worst. But there was a lot there. It was just a weird, weird time.
Blitzcrew hops in, says that would be great on the Browns with D-Hop push more down the depth chart. Yeah, I don't want to see Elijah Moore do well at all. Like he's one of those players that once he started running his mouth, it was like, you know what? I'm hopeful that you're going to do well with the Jets next season and like big rebound year. But now that he's off the team and he's on a team I really don't care for, I hope he doesn't get many catches, not many yards, not many touchdowns. Green Bean, your thoughts?
I want Elijah Moore to suck like he's never sucked to suck. That's what I want. I'm rooting so hard against him. That said, I think he's probably going to do fairly well. Or if he stays healthy, I think he's going to do well. Dude, Deshaun Watson is a stud. I know he had a year and a half off and he came in, he didn't look all that great, but I don't think, he was among arguably the best quarterback in the league the last year that he was a starter. I mean, he had a terrible team. He still had 45, I forget what it was. He had amazing stats that last year. So I don't know. I think Deshaun Watson with Amari Cooper and Elijah Moore, I think, and everybody else, I think he's probably going to do well. But I'm hoping he doesn't. I hope he drops it. I hope he's like lazy. I hope he doesn't drag his feet like he did for us. And we can laugh, but I don't know if that's coming.
I don't ever wish for injury, but like Watson's one of those guys that like if he had a pop an Achilles, I wouldn't feel bad about it. That's the type I don't want to see him do well. I'm not a Watson guy. Matt, how you feeling about Elijah Moore on the Browns? You think he's gonna have a good year?
I don't know what to expect from Deshaun. I think that's the biggest thing. He has a chance to put up some nice numbers, but it's really dependent on what version you're getting. If he looks like Houston Texans with Deshaun Watson, then there's a chance he could be, maybe the guy we thought he was going to be with the Jets. But, it didn't work out here, unfortunately, and kick rocks.
Douglas comes in with Super Chat, says, Broncos became my second team living in Denver in my teen years during the Elway era. Seeing McDaniels cause the Raiders to implode is classic. Well, he probably feels pretty good about it because he had his team imploded with Peyton Hillis, who was on the Madden cover that year, and Cutler and Brandon Marshall all got jettisoned, and then you get Tim Tebow. You had that wonderful run with that playoff win and the nice, then you got your Peyton Manning years. So you're redeemed, right? Watching McDaniels flounder as a Jet fan is pretty nice. I almost wish he didn't leave New England, but I always had this fear in the back of my head that like, oh, he's going to be like the second coming of Belichick, and I don't want him in our division. But now that I've seen him at 2.5 different stops, I would almost want him to come back and just be the coach after Belichick retires. Green Bean, you wish McDaniels was back in the division?
Well, as an offensive coordinator, he's been pretty good, but then again, he's had Tom Brady. So I don't know. Yeah. Josh McDaniels is an ass, man. The guy is just, you know what it is? Everybody that leaves like the Belichick tree, they all think they're going to be Belichick. And then they just, they're not Belichick, and they don't have, I don't even think Belichick's Belichick, quite frankly, without Tom Brady. We've seen it. And I get what Douglas is saying about, living in a place and the Broncos become your second team and all that, but that's bullshit. You don't do that just because you move, Douglas. You don't do it. You think I'm a Commanders fan? I root harder against these bastards. You can't do it. What are you doing? Stick with the Jets. Don't root for them. Don't root for them. That's what I got to say. Sorry, Douglas.
How you feeling about McDaniels being out of our conference, or out of our division, rather?
Yeah, it is what it is. It would have been nice to see him take the reins over for Bill and just, drive them into the ground for 20 years and have a reverse course. But, he gets to do it with the Raiders, and, they could maybe be the team that's a little bit more of a joke than the Jets. I feel like the Raiders and the Dolphins get too much of a pass for being inept, and it's like the Jets are the one who are like, everyone hammers them, but I think the Dolphins and Raiders deserve to get hammered too.
Well, historically, for like the last 20 years or so, I agree. But I think the Dolphins right now, they're one of the scariest teams in the AFC. And I would say, I saw a thing with Colin Cowherd. He was talking about how the Jets and Dolphins were kind of on that bubble of like Super Bowl contenders or whatever. And while I don't agree with having like the Ravens over us or the Jaguars over us, I do think that the Jets and Dolphins are kind of in that same sort of like, okay, there's a lot of potential here. Like, is Aaron Rodgers going to be the Aaron Rodgers of old? Are the Jets, like young players, going to do what they did last year? And Miami, they look lethal when Tua's on the field, but can Tua stay on the field? So I don't know. I'm not. I don't want to say I'm not down on the Dolphins, but I think the Raiders are a little bit more of a mess the last few years than the Dolphins have been the last two.
The Dolphins haven't won a playoff game in 20 years.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to ride that coattail until I can't.
Well, yeah, 100%. I would much rather the Dolphins be like knocked back into obscurity, because it feels like they like are so proud that they've won something, but they haven't won anything in forever. And like, get off my case. Just want them out of here. Want the Jets to stomp them into the ground. I want Quentin Williams putting Tyreek Hill 6 feet under again. Brian comes in, says McDaniels is definitely the worst. He destroyed the Broncos and was caught cheating again, left the Colts high and dry, left them high and dry. Look what he's doing in Vegas. He effed up every roster he's been a part of as a head coach. I agree. You're preaching. That's exactly what I said. I think McDaniels is the worst coach of that stretch. Terrible.
Yeah, because he goes out of his way to ruin stuff. Like, it's like you can't just show up, have a great dude, Jay Cutler, granted, whatever his career ended up being is one thing. He was always a very, very good quarterback, but you come into a team, you have a young buck, like build around him. That's where your focus should be. Same thing with Carr. It's like, how about you build a defense around him? He's never had higher than the 20th overall defense in his whole career. How about doing something like that? How about getting him some weapons? Nope. I want him out of here. I want to get in Jimmy G. That's my guy. Yeah, and maybe you should give him a physical first before you do all that. You know what I mean? Like,
I wonder if there's like, do you think there's an outside shot that Devontae Adams like does shake free? I mean, it's a massive dead cap hit for the Raiders if they were to move him, but like he's got to be pissed at everything going on. Matt, this one's for you.
Yeah, not this year. I think after this year, he's going to get moved, but I'd be surprised if anything happens like before the start of this season. I think he's just going to be sad, put up like, remember Randy Moss in Oakland? Like, and he just kind of went through the motions and kind of stunk, but then he'll go somewhere else and, bounce back.
Dude, he'll go to the Jets next year. That's what'll happen. It'll be like, oh, Corey Davis, thank you for everything you've done. We're going to let you walk. And Devontae Adams, we're going to trade for you. We're going to reunite you with Rodgers for 2 more seasons and then ride off into the sunset. Brian comes in and says, I also live in Denver, and the Jets are my only team. F those donkeys.
Yeah. In Douglas's defense, he did say when he was younger, so I get it. But still, Douglas, you can't do it.
I think my favorite, like, derogatory term for a football team is the Jacksonville meth kittens. I think that is Someone said that in the chat one time. I was like, oh, I'm going to fall over. Oh, geez.
That's a good one.
That's a great one. We've got 15 minutes left in this show. Go figure. Green, have you been writing down any super chats by chance?
I've written down every super chat and I've done the comments.
Ooh, the comments for those of you guys that were not in this stream last week. Green Bean. So we forgot to set up Nightbot and still have not done it yet. But we've been picking comments. So if you have like good comments, Green Bean's writing them down. You get entered into the shirt along with all the super chat guys as well. So if you got any funny ones, I thoroughly enjoyed you reading them off at the end of last week's stream.
Yeah, we'll do it again. I mean, I'm trying to be selective, but I got like, I don't know, I got like maybe 15 comments and we got maybe like, I don't know, 12, 15 super chats too. So you guys are all entered. I didn't tell anybody if your comment gets in there, so we'll surprise you later.
Rico the pup says, my favorite was people saying the Jags moving to London and they were going to be renamed the London Silly Pussies.
Oh,
no. It's like the London Silly Nannies from Family Guy. I approve. Torch says, if we get D-Hop, do you want Mims or Davis or one of the undrafted free agents? I mean, if you could find a way to keep Davis, that'd be fantastic, but you're definitely moving on from Davis. I think if you bring in DeAndre Hopkins, $10.5 million is just a lot of money. I don't really want to, I'm not putting a ton of stock into Mims. I'm hopeful that something does well, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. Matt, you think there's any, what would you say? If you got D-Hop, Mims, Davis, or an undrafted free agent?
I think Davis would go, and then I think it's between Mims or Brownlee, the UDFA, for the last wide receiver spot. They're similar in stature, and if you're buying into the rumors from earlier in the offseason that Hackett and the offensive staff isn't necessarily in love with Mims, I don't think it'd be the most shocking thing if they wanted to go a different direction with their own guy that they might have liked as an undrafted free agent.
Green Bean, what do you think? If you were to get DeAndre Hopkins, do you want Mims, Davis, or one of the undrafted free agents?
Well, I think, like you said, Davis is the obvious guy because you need that $10.5 million to justify bringing on D-Hop. That said, I'm all team Mims, dude. I don't give a shit what anybody says about anything. I know about the reports and everything, but I think that was very early. And I think Mims has, I've seen the clips of them running around. Mims is digging. He's cutting. He's working. He still looks great. He's ready. He's got the body type that Hackett likes. And I think Mims is going to be, this is the year, dude. Mims got toyed with LaFleur, and we all bought into it. The guy got screwed around for no good reason, quite frankly. Again, I will remind everyone, he's the only player I've ever heard of that was required to learn 3 positions before he could be on the active roster. I just never heard of that before. That's in addition to food poisoning and COVID, and I just don't get it. So I'm hopeful, and I'm sticking with it. I'm invested. I'm in deep in the Mims thing. We'll see how it goes. I do think that an Irv Charles or a Brownlee, they're going to be looking, man. They're going to be looking. If they can upgrade, they're going to do it. But I think Mims is good enough to hold off those guys, and I think it'll be Mimsy on there. I also think Corey Davis is staying. I don't think we're getting D-Hop, so I think it'll be both Corey Davis and Mims on the roster this year.
Hawk says, get you a woman that loves you like Green Bean loves Mimsy.
That's right, man. It's all you need. I would do Mims's laundry and then make him Taco Tuesday.
It's like the scene in the Titanic and Green Bean sitting at the wheel of the ship and like the water's crashing in and he's just sitting there, man. So going down, but it's okay.
That's ridiculous.
Eric Craig says, I fell asleep in my chair at the desk before I got on for this show. Glad to have you.
There he is, Eric.
Douglas. Thank you so much, Douglas. He says, hey, Green Bean, Broncos were the first team I ever saw play live during the 80s. Them and the Jets never crossed paths. I'm the only member of my family that still has loyalty, albeit divided, to the Jets. All right. Half loyalty's all right, I guess.
No problem, Doug. I get it, man. I do. It's hard not to get caught up. Like, like you say, like you're going to see him live. It's Elway. There's a lot of energy. I do understand. Believe me, I disagree entirely, but I do understand. I'm not in Denver either. I was in New York the whole time, or New Jersey, I should say. But I was at the Jets games. Like when I went to my first Jets game ever was a preseason game against the Eagles, the year after they lost to the Raiders in the Super Bowl, and I went with my father. I literally said to my father, because I was still unsure. I had my Earl Campbell football, so I was a Houston Oilers fan, and I liked the song, Houston Oilers. I was a little kid. So I said to my father, who am I supposed to root for? I wanted to make my father happy. And he said, you root for the home team. Like, that's what he said. You got to root for the Jets. My father's a Giants fan. And he said, you got to root for the home team. And I said, okay, well, there it is. And then I started hanging with Aunt Gina. But so I get it. I was in the stadium. I caught the vibe, the energy and everything. And I was all Jets. And anytime I went to a game, it was Jets. You know what I mean? So I understand. Doug. I got your back, buddy. I got your back.
Ron Weiss says he got his wife and I received our Talkin' Jets shirts. What quality shirts, guys. You guys are awesome. Yeah, they're stupid comfortable. They're really nice. Like super easy to breathe in the summer. We decided to go against the cotton shirts and go with like a performance dry moisture wicking kind of material. Highly recommend. Definitely nice.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. What else we got in here? I've had to get off the MIMS circuit. Let's trade and put it into paying Rodgers, said Michael Murphy. How much do we save from cutting MIMS? Does anyone know this?
$50.
You know what bugs me to no end, and I haven't noticed if any other team has it on here, but when I go to Over the Cap, they still use the old Jets logo, and it bugs the ever-living crap out of me.
Yes, it does bother me. I'm glad I'm not alone in that.
I almost reached out to Jason. You know what? I'm going to reach out to Jason. I want it changed. It is so infuriating because I think everyone else's logo has been changed. Actually, Tampa's logo might be different. I can't tell. All right.
Everyone else's looks.
The Lions the Lions updated?
The Lions also. I don't know.
The Rams is definitely updated.
Yeah. It might just be the Jets now.
Man.
Oh, the Chargers one might be old too.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, because it's a different outline now. Is it a white outline?
It doesn't have that dark blue outline no more.
Let's see. If Mims is cut, he is a $1.3 million savings. I don't want to cut him to save $1.3 million.
No. What is this crap, Michael Murphy? Don't quit. Don't quit 3 feet from gold, man. Don't quit before the miracle happens, buddy.
Hank G drops in. He says, yeah, love my Talkin' Jets shirt, and my kid loves the monkeys. That was such a good design. It was so fun. It's so fun.
It is. It's
That was a good one.
Oh, no way. Douglas, my childhood was upstate in Binghamton, only saw the Jets on TV. I went to school in Binghamton, Douglas, so I know the area well. The school's over in Vestal. I lived on the south side of Main Street by kind of near the high school when I was there we were off campus for 2 years. Brian says, if you have 2 teams, you have no team. Go Jets. Man, Douglas, they're firing shots at you. You can like other teams. I am by far a diehard Jets fan, but I will say you know, I would say there's probably more players that I enjoy watching than maybe specific teams. I did really like the Saints while Breeze was there and Reggie Bush was there because I loved watching Reggie Bush at USC, and I was really hoping that year the Jets would get him. Now I'm glad we got DeBrickshaw Ferguson, but Reggie Bush was something special in college. So the Saints have always kind of been, and then we like Vilma wound up going there. DeMario Davis was down there. There's a few guys that I liked down that way. I like Sean Payton. I would say if I had to like pick an NFC team that was them for a little bit, I don't think I'd necessarily pick them right now just because they're not as captivating as they once were. Matt, do you have another team or maybe a player that you enjoy watching?
So I wouldn't say like I'm a fan of two teams or like claim another team as a fandom, but I've gone through parts of my life where I'm like, oh, I like this team, like the early 2000s Buccaneers, like that defense. I really liked, John Lynch and Warren Sapp. So I liked them. I agree. The Saints, I liked. The Cowboys at one point, I always was a big Tony Romo guy. So I was like, I want this guy to like, I want him to win to shut up the haters that Tony Romo isn't good. Never happened. Same with Phillip Rivers. So you could, I guess, throw the Chargers in there a little bit too.
I feel like the Cowboys have always kind of been like Jet fans and Cowboy fans are kind of almost okay because you have like the Giants and you're like, God, I don't want to see the Giants win. And like, I've always liked Tony Romo. I don't like Dak as much as Tony Romo. I think I kind of soured on Dak a little bit this year, but like, I enjoy like Micah Parsons is awesome and Dez was really good. I really liked CeeDee Lamb coming out. So there's a lot of like players that I kind of fall for. I think watching the draft makes me maybe follow players a little bit more.
I agree. So like I go through phases where like the teams have guys that I like and I'll be like, oh yeah, like if they're doing well, like cool. And if obviously it has Jets first, if it has an impact on the Jets, then root against them for sure. But if it has no impact, then I have teams that I like to watch.
Gitmo Bob says, my daughter went to Binghamton. She lived in a really old house on Murray Street in Binghamton. Interesting town for minor league sports. Yeah, the Binghamton Mets were up that way. Now they're the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. I've got a hat, a Binghamton Rumble Ponies hat, because I thought it was the most absurd name for a minor league team. And then I saw a bunch of minor league teams, and I was like, those are all great names. I love all of them.
It's a cool logo, the Rumble Ponies.
I was on Seminary Ave, Gitmo Bob. I was one road over from Main Street. So Murray, I think, was 2 roads over from me, if I'm not mistaken. Big fella drops in the chat, says, yo, I'm on a plane coming back from Vegas, put $200 on the Jets, 14-1. Can't wait to decimate the Pats. Big fella, yeah! Do I have an applause button? I need an applause button.
Yeah, that's good. Good for you, big fella. Here it is.
Oh, that's nice. I got to use that button more. There we go.
Did it work?
I'm hearing it.
I hear it.
Did it work?
Winning.
All right, good.
Winning.
We're all hitting our boards.
Hit it. There it is.
All right. We have reached the end of our show. So we got to pick a t-shirt winner.
Oh. All right. I got the big fella in there. Okay, yeah, all right. So all right, you want me to read the comments? No.
Yeah, read the comments, then we'll do a little odds or evens.
Okay.
A little throwback.
So, all right. Here's the comments that made the cut. Early on, Ryan was talking about his toenails, and Jets Freely said, just don't show those toes to Rex. Oh, that's pretty good.
That's great.
Snowball said, hopefully A-Rod is speaking a Super Bowl into existence. That's some good old-fashioned Jets goodness. Yoitz checked in and said, Green Bean is the biggest Swiftie among us. That's when we were talking about Taylor Swift fans. Midnight Mike Show said, I hope we talk about boys and braiding our hair next. Whoever falls asleep first gets their bra frozen. When we were talking about Taylor Swift.
I love
That's
it.
funny. That was good, man. Squirmy Weasel just said Kiss is better than Taylor Swift. I agree. I'm with that. Joe S. said Rogers was on Molly at the concert. Looked like
Just
it.
rolling.
That's another explanation for what we were watching for sure. Hank G with a good one says, looks like Rogers has always been a Jet at heart. That was a good one. I like that too.
He feels at home here. Like it's weird. He doesn't feel like an outsider right now. He's doing all the tour stuff, going to the, the hockey games, the basketball games.
Dude, he's free. He's free, man.
Love it. Yeah,
You know
like
what I mean?
a weight's lifted off his shoulders.
Totally. I mean, think about it. You forget everybody's like, oh, he's this, he's that. And maybe he is, but I think he's misunderstood in a lot of ways, like with the ayahuasca and the darkness retreats. Like he doesn't care. He's doing his own thing that he needs to do. But you got to remember, like, dude, like he said, like they traded up for a quarterback in the first round in 2020. Like, let's not forget that. They started looking past me 3 years ago. So he's had to kind of work through that. That's not easy. So that could taint your mood. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. Hater checked in. Hater Ali. He says, the Cyclone was my first coaster. I was 12. That was 102 years ago. So I said that was good.
He's 114.
He's 114 years old. Yeah, well, we all knew that. Hater's the oldest man alive. We've known that for a while. Alan Dodes, first time here, by the way. First time watching the Talking Jets panel. Welcome, Alan. He says, eating Twinkies is to you, Ryan. Eating Twinkies isn't living off the land, Ryan.
It is if the Twinkies are what's left. Right? Like,
they were
if you had to hunt
about if they're strewn about the land.
Hold on. If technically, if you were to hunt like a hooved animal in Australia, those animals are not native to that area. Twinkies are not native to nature, but if they're out there and I hunt a Twinkie down, I'm living off the land.
That's right. There you go.
Rest
if you found
case.
it on the ground, it's living off the land. There it is.
Close enough.
Let's see. Greg Gagney says, I don't remember these now, so this is good. Greg says, I said it last week and I'll say it again. Beck equals comeback player of the year with all due respect to Brees. That's a good one. I fully support that one. Sluggo said your body was meant to process fat, not sugar, when we were talking about our Twinkies and ice cream and everything. Hawk said, this is the last one. Get you a woman that loves you like Green Bean loves Mimsy. There it is.
Yep.
So that's
It's so good.
All right. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, or 13, actually. And I should number these before I do it. That would take a lot off there. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3. We have 33 spots, qualifiers.
All right. Get your fingers ready. 3, 2, 1. That's a 6. It's an even number.
All right, evens. Jack Mandarin is out. K Yeti is out. Midnight Mike Show, one of yours is out. You have a couple qualifiers out. Jason Edwards, our good buddy, is out. Knobcraft, our good buddy, is out. Everybody's our good. One of Douglas McClure's is out. Oh, another Douglas McClure is out. Some guy, he had a good comment. I put it in the wrong spot. Some guy said, when we were talking about good comments, he just said, unfortunately, I'm not very funny. I thought that was funny. So I put it in there.
I enjoy
Some
that.
guy, but
Anti-humor.
you're out. Yeah, but sorry, you're out, some guy. Ron Weiss is out, and the big fella is out. Also, let's see here. Snowball is out. The other Midnight Mike is out. Sorry, buddy. Joe S. is out. Hater is out. Sluggo is out. And Hawk is out. So Hawk had the Mimsy comment at the end there. Okay, we're ready.
3, 2, 1. That's a 5. Odd number.
Odd. So Hank is out. Greg Gagney's out. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞𝐫𝐢𝐛𝐬 Lassiter is out. Alan Dodds is out. The other Douglas McClure. I think that's your last one, Douglas. Wow, you got creamed. You had a lot of entries.
It's like two shots.
Yeah. Yet Brian Scantlebury, all of his are remaining. Let's see. Jet Freely is out with the toes. Squirmy Weasel is out. Alan Dodds had another one, but it's out. So here we go. We're ready.
3, 2, 1. 12. 12 is the number.
So that's an even. Ace of Spade is out. One of Scantlebury's is gone. Yoitz is out. And Greg Gagne is out. We're down to the nitty gritty here. We got what, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ooh.
3,
Hank,
2.
Scantlebury, Dom, and City Bert. That's all it is.
3, 2, 1. Milk thumbs.
Oh, milk thumbs.
That's 4. Ooh, that's a 5. Got 5.
5.
Rigged. Green Bean rigged it.
I did. Dom, you're out. And Hank is out. We're down to City Bert and Brian Scantlebury for the Talkin' Jets shirt.
Ooh, okay. What first number after Greg Gagne's shucks plus whatever we throw up? 3, 2, 1. All right, we got a 5 and a 3. That's an 8. Even number.
Scantlebury's out. City Bert is the winner.
Woohoo.
City Bert, reach out to me on Gmail. jetstalk247@gmail.com. I'll get your shipping information, send you out a Talkin' Jets shirt. Thank you so much for playing. For those of you that want to get a chance to win a shirt, all you got to do is leave a comment down below this stream after it's aired. You'll be entered into next week's t-shirt giveaway. Always fun. Always fun. But let's go around our panel.
Well, Michael Murphy said, read the winning comment. It wasn't a comment. It was a super chat. That one.
Ah, shucks. That's
yeah. It's unfortunate.
So let's go around our panel. Let's give our closing thoughts. Green Bean, any last words?
Yeah, I got to wake up in 4 hours and 54 minutes. So I'm toast. But I love you guys. This was fun. Zombies all day.
Matt, any last words?
Well, the good news is the Green Bean will have a new episode of Just Jets to listen to tomorrow. We go through so many topics, including something we touched on tonight, which is Aaron Rodgers' first appearance at MetLife, which so happens to be a Taylor Swift concert. So all fun things.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. All right, boys and girls, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, putting up with us, wasting your time on us. It really does mean a lot. It does not go unnoticed. This is Jets Talk signing off. JETS.
I think every single person in this locker room is a competitor at the highest level. So, yeah, when you feel as if your backs are against the wall, you never have to feel like you got to do it by yourself.
Under pressure, sacked by Quinnen Williams. Right sideline, Usaba's got it.
You look to your left and your right, you got guys out there with you. Just climbing the ladder. To be able to go out and lead these guys, just to know how hard these guys work and how important it is to them, and then you get that chance to lead them. Everything that happened that needed to happen for us, it almost felt like kind of like a sign, like get like a second chance almost.
Gets extra pushes, running left.
Maybe a little extra life to breathe into the locker room.
Touchdown, Jets.